So now our next topic is job enrichment. So job enrichment is a management technique aimed at enhancing the quality of an employee's work lifestyle by increasing the depth of their job roles. Means under job enrichment, the job roles of the employees are increased, right? So this approach focuses on making jobs more engaging and fulfilling by incorporating elements that provides greater variety. Now, to the employee, the greater variety would be provided, greater responsibility will be provided, and even the opportunities means opportunities for him will eventually increase. The primary objective of job enrichment is to boost employee satisfaction, motivation, performance by making their work more meaningful and rewarding. Means by enhancing the jobs, we can say that organizations will aim to create a more stimulating work environment that will not only enhance the employees' well-being but also will improve the employees' productivity and efficiency. So now the next topic is features of job enrichment. So the first feature is increasing task variety, which means that this is one of the key aspect of job enrichment, which address the variety of the task of the employees that they are going to perform. When jobs are repetitive and are monotonous, the employees can quickly become bored and disengaged in doing their jobs. Means increasing the task variety will involve assigning the different types of tasks that requires various skills and competencies among the employees. Now this approach will help to break the monotony and will also keep the employees interested and engaged in their work. For example, let us consider an administrative assistant who typically, who spends the entire day filling the paperwork, right? Entire day in the filing, or we can say the paperwork, right? So by expanding their roles to even including the scheduled meetings, by managing the office supplies and assisting events with planning, right? So the job becomes more diverse. Now he will be provided more tasks, more work to be done. His job will become more diverse and more engaging. Means the variety of tasks will not only make the job more interesting but will also allow the employee to to develop a broader range of skills. Now he will not be bored, he will develop his more skills doing the same work on a repeated basis, right? So the next feature is providing task identity, which means that task identity, it refers to the extent to which an employee means in which they are involved in a project from start to the finish, right? So when employees can see a project through its entire life cycle, they can gain a sense of ownership and even the accomplishment, right? So this feeling of completing a whole and identifiable piece of work, it is very crucial for job satisfaction. Imagine a marketing coordinator who is responsible for not just for one part of the marketing campaign, but also sending out the promotion emails. Now, by expanding their job roles to even include the planning of the campaign, by creating content and by executing the strategy and analyzing the results, the employee will experience a diverse of jobs, right? And he will experience the satisfaction of seeing his efforts in a fruition, right? So means this comprehension will involve to it will create a sense of achievement, it will help a sense of commitment to the project. The next feature is increasing task significance, which means that employees are more motivated when they understand the importance of their workflow or how it impact the others, right? So task significance, it involves highlighting the values and the impact of an employee's job on the organization, on the customers, as well as on the society. So when employees see the bigger picture, then they realize that their work will make a difference. They will be more likely to be motivated and engaged. Let us consider an example where there's a hospital janitor, right? So the hospital janitor might feel that their job is not good, right? They might feel bored. However, by explaining how their work will help to maintain a clean and safe environment for the patients, which will directly contribute to the patient recovery and also with their well-being, right? So the significance of their role, it will become better for them, and it will be very clear for them. He or she will receive the clarity regarding his job role. Means understanding the impact of their work, making them understand it, can make the that person, the janitor, feel more proud and even motivated, right, to perform his duties diligent. The next feature is granting autonomy, which means that autonomy is it is basically the degree to which an employee have the freedom to make decisions and to control how they can perform their tasks, right? So by providing autonomy, it will empower the employees to use their judgment, to use their creativity, which will lead to higher job satisfaction and even the motivation, right? So when employees are trusted to make the decisions, they feel valued in the organization. They feel respected. They feel like their voice is being heard, right? So it enhances their commitment and their performance towards the organization. Now, the last feature is providing feedback. Regular and constructive feedback is very essential for job enrichment, which means that feedback will always help the employees, to understand how well they are performing, so that they can recognize their strengths and even they can identify the areas for their improvement. Now, positive feedback, it will reinforce good performance and will motivate the employees to continue their good efforts, while the constructive feedback, it will provide them the guidance for growth and development, and so that they can do their job better in the future. Now, the next topic is models of job enrichment. There are five models. First is Herzberg two-factor theory. Next is Hackman's and Oldham's job characteristic model. The third is job enrichment model by Richard Hackman. The fourth is job enrichment model by Edward Lawler. And the fifth is the job enrichment model by J. Richard Hackman and Greg R. Oldham, right? So first we'll come to the first model, which is Herzberg two-factor theory. Herzberg, this theory is also known as the motivation hygiene theory, and it is well-known model that explains the job satisfaction and the motivation. Herzberg theory is also there in motivation also, right? So where he had described his model in two factors, right? So according to the Frederick Herzberg, the job satisfaction and the dissatisfaction, it arises from two different set of factors, right? So the first set, which is called the hygiene factors, will include the elements like salary, job security. It will include working conditions and even the company policies and interpersonal relations of the employees within their organization. These factors are essential to prevent the dissatisfaction, but do not necessarily motivate employees when they are present in the organization. Means if the employees are working in a clean and safe environment with fair pay, when they are more likely to be dissatisfied, and but these conditions alone will not make them passionate about their work, right? Means the second factor is this was the first factor. Now the second factor is known as the motivators, which means these are those points that derive the employees to perform better and increase their job satisfaction. Means these will include opportunities for achievement, it will include recognition, and will also include the nature of the work itself, right? The responsibility and the opportunities of advancement, and the personal growth of the employees. For example, if an employee who's been given the challenging task that utilizes their skills and is recognized for the achievements, and is more likely to be motivated and satisfied, right? Obviously. Means Herzberg theory, it suggests that to enhance the motivation, managers should focus on providing the motivators while ensuring that hygiene factors are adequately addressed to prevent the dissatisfaction among the employees in the organization. Now, the second is Hackman and Oldham's job characteristic model. Now, under this model, it identifies the five core job dimensions that are crucial for enhancing the job motivation, satisfaction, and the performance. Means these dimensions, these are the skills, skill variety. It may include task identification, it may include task significance, autonomy, and even the feedback. Now, skills variety, it refers to the range of different activities and skills used in a job, which will make the work more interesting. Task identity, it involves the completing a whole and identifiable piece of work, which will give the employees a sense of accomplishment. And task significance, it is the degree to which job impacts others, means making the work more meaningful. Autonomy provides the employees with the freedom to make decisions and even the control within their work processes, which fosters a sense of ownership and the responsibility, right? So feedback involves giving employees clear information about their performance, regarding helping them understand how well they are doing and where they can improve whenever there is an improvement needed in their performance. Means by incorporating these dimensions into job design, employees can, they can experience these critical psychological states, means meaningfulness of the work, responsibility for the outcomes, and even the knowledge of the results. Means these states lead to the higher internal work motivation, job satisfaction, and work effectiveness. For example, a nurse who sees the positive impact of their care on patients recovery, right, and has the autonomy to make decisions about the patient care, will be more likely to feel motivated and enriched with their job. Now, the next model is the job enrichment model by Richard Hackman. Now, under this model focuses on enhancing the job satisfaction and motivation through three main principles. Now, those three main principles are vertical loading, a formal natural work units, and the last is establishing the client's relationship. Now, vertical loading, it involves adding more challenging and complex tasks to a job. Thereby, it will increase the task and will require the depth and the significance of the job. Now, this means that employees' tasks can require higher level of responsibility and skill, and which can make their work more rewarding. An accountant who is also given a task of financial planning and analysis, right, rather than just data entry, now he will find his job more enriching. Forming the natural work unit, it means that creating a team or groups who are responsible for completing a unit of work. Now, this will promote a sense of ownership and accountability among the people who are completing that particular unit of work. Now, when employees they work together on a complete project from starting to finish, right? So they are more likely to feel a connection to their works and also with their team. Means establishing the client relationship, it means allowing the employees to interact directly with the customers or the clients. Means the direct relationship, let us take an example. Means for example, if a software developer who meets with his client to understand their needs, and he receives the feedback, so on the final product, he will be more likely to be feel valued, and he will also be motivated by the feedbacks he has received from his clients. Now, the next model is the job enrichment model by Edward Lawler. Under this model, it emphasizes the importance of job design in influencing the employee's behavior and motivation. So, it suggests several strategies for job enrichment, including the job rotation, job enlargement, and job enrichment. Job rotation is basically, it involves the periodically moving employees from one task or jobs to increase their variety of their variety of and their and to reduce the monotony. This approach help employees to develop their new skills and keep them engaged. For example, in a manufacturing plant, workers might rotate their between their assembly, quality control, and even the packaging tasks. Now, the next is job enlargement. Under this, job enlargement expands the scope of a job by adding more tasks of a similar nature, right? This makes the job more varied and will reduce the boredom that comes from the job. For instance, a receptionist is there who is also given the responsibility of managing the meeting room bookings and handling some administrative tasks. It will create a more impact on the that receptionist. Mean it will make the job more interesting. Job enrichment, on the other hand, it involves adding more complex and challenging tasks to a job to make it more rewarding, which means that it will include increasing the employees level of responsibility by giving them tasks that will require higher level of skills, right, in performing those tasks. For example, if a customer service representative who is also tasked with training new employees and developing the customer service protocol, right, so that person will always find the job more enriching and will result in increase of skills in that particular employee. Now the next model is the job enrichment model by J. Richard Hackman and Greg R. Oldham. This model emphasizes the importance of designing the jobs that enhance the internal motivation and job satisfaction. Now, this model it is built on the job characteristic model, and it introduces the concept of critical psychological states that result from the job enrichment. So the model will suggest the job should be designed to provide the employees with experiences of meaningfulness, responsibility, and the knowledge of the results. So these experiences these can be achieved by incorporating the five core job dimensions, which are skill variety, task identification, task significance, autonomy, and even the feedback. According to this model, when employees find their work more meaningful, they feel responsible for the outcomes and they receive the clear feedback on their performance. Means they are more likely to be internally motivated and satisfied with their job roles. This will lead towards a better job performance, higher job satisfaction, and even the lower absenteeism and the turnover rates in the organization. For example, if a project manager is involved in all the phases of a project, means task identification means understanding the importance of the project to the organization. It could be task significance. It could be the autonomy means to he has the freedom to make the decisions. Now that person will receive regular feedback on the project's progress and will be more likely be motivated and satisfied with his particular job. Now the next topic is advantages of job enrichment. First advantage is increased job satisfaction. Okay, so job enrichment it often leads to a higher job satisfaction because employees find their work more interesting, or we can say more meaningful. When employees they are given a variety of tasks that requires high level of skills or even the different skills, it will make their job more autonomous, and we can say and hence it will make the job more engaging. Means for example, if an administrative assistant is being given various tasks, for example scheduling meetings, organizing the events, and even managing the office supplies, so he might feel bored when he is given only a single task. Now when he will be allotted more than one task, so in that case he may feel more satisfied than doing his regular paperwork or the filing work, right? So this variety it will keep the job more interesting and fulfilling, and will also increase the skill set of that particular individual. Now the next advantage is enhance motivation. Now by incorporating the elements like autonomy, responsibility, opportunity for growth, and job enrichment, it can significantly boost the employees' motivation. Which means that when employees have the freedom to make the decision, and if they are given the challenging task, they feel more trusted and valued, which will definitely increase their drive to perform well. For instance, if a salesperson is there who is allowed to design their sales strategies and to set their targets, he may feel more motivated to achieve their goals compared to the one who follows a rigid script, right? So the next advantage is improved performance, which means when employees are more satisfied and motivated, their performance it tends to improve. Means the enriching jobs that align with the employees skills and interest will always lead to a higher productivity and better quality of work. For example, if a graphic designer is there who is given a creative freedom and a variety of projects, he's more likely to produce more innovative and high quality designs than the one who is restricted with to doing the who is restricted with doing the repetitive tasks. Now, the third advantage is lower employee turnover. So we can say that employees who feel engaged and valued, they are more likely to leave their jobs, right? So we job enrichment can lead to lower turnover rates because employees will find their work more rewarding and hence more meaningful. For instance, let's say a teacher is there who is involved in curriculum development and extracurricular activities of the students, so that teacher might feel that more committed to his or her school and more likely to be seek the employment elsewhere, right? So he will not leave the organization means. So this loyalty will reduce the cost and the disruptions associated with the higher turnover. Now, the fifth advantage is greater personal growth, which means that job enrichment, it often provides the opportunities for personal and professional development. Means employees who take on the more complex and variety of tasks, they can develop new skills and they can also gain valuable experiences. For example, if a junior accountant is there who is given the responsibility in financial analysis and budgeting also, right? So it will enhance his skills and will also advance his career. Means this personal growth, this will benefit that particular employee, both the employee and the organization, because by building a more skilled and capable workforce, the employees will be multi-talented, they will develop their multiple skills, and whenever in case if they leave the organization, it will be always fruitful for them because then they have acquired many skills, a multiple set of skills. Now, the next advantage is enhance innovation and creativity. Job enrichment, it always encourages the employees to think creatively and to come up with the innovative solutions. Means when employees are given more autonomy and the diverse tasks, they are more likely to explore the new approaches and the ideas. For example, a marketing professional with the freedom to design the campaigns and strategies also, he might experiment with the new marketing techniques and the technologies, right, which will definitely lead to the innovation and effective campaigns for that particular employee. Next advantage is better utilization of employee skills. So we can say that by providing the employees with more complex and varied tasks, job enrichment ensures that their skills and talents are fully utilized. Means this will not only lead to the greater job satisfaction, but it will also maximize the potential of the workforce. For instance, we can say a software developer with project management skills can take roles that require both technical expertise as well as the leadership, right? This will ensure the fuller utilization of his or her skills. Next advantage is increased employee engagement. Now we can say that employees who find their jobs more challenging and meaningful, they are more likely to be engaged in their work. Means high level of engagement will always lead towards the better job performance, which will result in lower absenteeism and a more positive working environment in the organization. For example, if a healthcare worker is there who is involved in uh, patient care planning, we can say, and decision making also, right? So that particular person, or we can say that particular worker, will be more likely to feel more engaged and committed towards his or her job, which will result in better patient outcomes and also with the higher job satisfaction. Now, the last topic is disadvantages of job enrichment. In spite of having so many advantages, there are certain disadvantages of everything that we do. Despite of having so many advantages, there are certain disadvantages of job enrichment, right? So the first one is increased workload, which means that one potential downside of job enrichment is it will increase the workload that comes with the additional responsibilities and tasks. So in that case, employees might feel overwhelmed if they're not given the adequate support or the resources to handle their expanded roles. Means let us understand this with an example. For example, if a customer support service representative is there who is suddenly tasked with managing the social media inquiries and also with the training the new hires in the addition in the organization, right? So in addition to doing his regular duties, he might feel overburdened, right? Or he might feel that the employer is being demanding. So this can lead to stress and burnout in that particular employee. Now the next is potential for role ambiguity, which means that when jobs are enriched with more complex tasks and with greater autonomy, there can be confusions about the roles and the responsibilities among the employees, which means that employees may not understand what is expected out of them, which will lead to more ambiguity and frustration among the employees in the organization. For instance, a project manager is there who is given more decision making authority without clear guidelines. So that particular individual, he might struggle to understand the extent of his or her responsibilities, which will definitely lead towards the potential conflicts and inefficiencies in the organization. Now the next disadvantage is resistance to change, which means that not all the employees are receptive to job enrichment. Means they cannot receive the job enrichment in the same manner, especially if they are if they're comfortable with their current job roles. Means sometimes they may not feel good towards doing the additional jobs. They might feel it as frustrating or irritating, right? So some employees, they may resist changes on their job structure, which fearing the increased responsibilities and challenges, right? So for example, we can say a factory worker is there who used to perform a specific task, right? Now he may resist to take on the additional task, or to learn the new skills, right? This resistance, it can hinder the implementation of job enrichment initiatives and will always affect the overall morale of that particular employee. Okay, next disadvantage is higher training cost. Obviously, see, job enrichment, it often requires the additional training to equip employees with the skills needed to expand their roles. Means whenever they are given the additional responsibilities, they are always needed to they are needed with proper trainings in that extended job roles. Means this training can be time consuming, it can be costly for the organization. For instance, if a company decides to enrich the roles of its administrative staff by airing project management responsibilities also, right? So it will need to invest in training programs so as to ensure that they have received the necessary skills, right? So these costs can be a significant burden, especially for the smaller organization. They might not afford the training sessions for their employees. Now the next is risk of overqualification. Now employees who are highly skilled and are capable, they may find that job enrichment does not sufficiently challenge them. Means which will lead to feelings of overqualification. Means when employees feel that their enhanced job roles still do not fully utilize their abilities. Means in that case, they may become disengaged or to seek the opportunities elsewhere. For example, if a software engineer is there who is given additional responsibilities in team leading the project planning, so in that case he might feel unchallenged, right? Because if these tasks will not align with his advanced technical skills, so in that case he may feel under utilized. Means this can result in the dissatisfaction and the turnover among the highly talented employees. Now, the next disadvantage is potential for increased pressure and stress, which means that with additional responsibilities and higher expectations, employees might feel increased pressure, or they might feel stress, which means that this can be, this can particularly be challenging if employees are not provided with the necessary resources and support to handle their enriched job roles. For example, a teacher is there who takes on the administrative duties in addition to the existing role, which was teaching. So in that case, the teacher might feel overwhelmed by the added workload, leading to the stress and the potential burnout in that particular teacher. The next disadvantage is challenges in maintaining quality, which means that when employees take one or more tasks, when they take the responsibilities of more than one task, there's a risk that the quality of the work may suffer. means lower quality might come out of them. So especially if they are stretched to him, right? If they haven't taken the work voluntarily, and or if they are not in a mood to take the work and they are given the work, so ensuring the tasks are performed to high standards can be challenging. Means, for instance, if a nurse is there who is responsible for both patient care and for the administrative duties also, so she might feel struggle to maintain the high quality care if she is overburdened with too many tasks, right? So the last disadvantage is difficulty in measuring performance, which means that as the job roles become more complex and multifaceted, right? So through enrichment, it can be harder to to measure and evaluate the employee performance effectively. Means standard performance matrices, they may not be adequately captured. Means the diverse aspect of enriched job may not be met. For example, if a sales manager is there who also oversees the team training and the development, so he may find it difficult to assess their performance using the traditional sales matrices, right? So which will lead to the potential challenges in the performance appraisal and the recognition in the organization.